Around 1896, a sequence of strange events foretold by one of Africa's great seers happened. All of his prophecies were true and accurate. 1896 was 1 year of drought, coupled with a severe locust invasion that devastated the crops and ran a pest that struck most of the cattle. That same year saw a total eclipse of the moon that, as predicted by this prophet, who was like a messianic figure well before the advent of the missionaries, took place. Welcome to our topic today, Black Prophets. Before the God fiction took over, did we have messengers? Do you know about their message? One cardinal question is about spiritual leaders before the arrival of the missionary message and the missionaries and the colonists, to know whether Africans in Africa or any other part on earth had seers or prophets like messengers who guided the black nation in a real sense of prophecy and direct inspiration. The question is, was there communication from the ancestors, from the Netchers, from the Creator to us through these messengers about the impending enslavement and colonization before we had received the Quran, the Bible, and all the confusion that we have today? Are there examples of such leaders, especially before the arrival of the God fiction? This is a very profitable and very revealing quest, a research worth pursuing and a desire worth knowing and fulfilling. Let us hasten to add that all so-called prophets, pastors, priests, ministers running around today establishing evangelical ministries and Christian ministries, performing so-called miracles, teaching so-called prosperity gospel, salvation through Jesus Christ, Christmas, Easter, Halloween, all that baptism, speaking in tongues, well, let us, or jihad or anything, let us realize that even imams preaching Islamic doctrines, specifically among the black nations, even in America or anywhere else, are an extension of the colonization and enslavement agenda. That's the straightforward message. As soon as they prophesy and as soon as they speak in the name of God, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Allah, the magnificence or whatever, they are speaking and teaching a European version of what was stolen from Africa. They are false prophets. Doesn't matter who they are, what they have done, what they are achieving. That has been said and done. What was then the religion or spirituality of Africa before Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, or anything else? Africa originated. All religions, all spiritualities came from Africa, but today they are distorted. The distortion is very simple to detect. There is a chasm here between us and the unseen realm. This is true. Our divine creator who created us is not called God. He is the creator and is beyond. There is a chasm between the creator and us. There is a living dead, the spirits. There's a spiritual realm, the intermediary realms, and there is also the realm of human beings and other things. This diagram teaches in a summary what African spirituality stands for. There are many other complex subjects around this Ubuntu, Mahati, and everything else, which we have already demonstrated before. There were black messengers before the God fiction arrived. Before Allah arrived, we had our own messengers who warned and taught us of the future. In a country with borders drawn in Berlin, and the once called Rhodesia, then Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, and now Zimbabwe, many great leaders in almost same class as Netchers are acknowledged. These are ancestors. Zimbabwe was not a country, and it should not be a country. This whole part of Southern Africa is one country. There were only 5 countries around Africa: Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Western Africa, and Northern Africa, and India. Some of these ancestors came from the lineage of Zibaguru, which is my line, whose totem was Ziba. They came from the central Lex region here. Their names were Chaminuka, Neanda, Mutota, and Karuba. One messenger known as Paspamire, who would become Chaminuka, made a number of prophecies. Many of them are unfolding right in our eyes. In current religious parlance, he would be called a great prophet. Unbeknownst to many, he has been hidden and tucked away. According to Dr. Monda, he made many prophecies, and he was a great prophet of the Creator. Also in a book by Dr. Solomon Mchairo, Chaminuka, prophet of Zimbabwe, Chaminuka declared, all people of Chitungwiza, now a city in Zimbabwe, fearful of your lives and for those of your children, understand, I repeat, that there shall come from the sea a race of people without knees, who are stronger than the tyrant Ndebele. They will subdue your enemies and will pursue Lopengula to his shameful death. Then these kneeless people will build white houses on the land. They will bring with them a mighty boulder, such as has never been seen before. This is technology that was the steam locomotives, the diesel electric locomotives, and now the technologies we see of roads, cars, planes, and stuff like that. This was well before the missionary had ever set foot in this part of the world. The Bible was not there, the Quran was not there, Islam was not there, and there was calm, peace, and tranquility, except that King Lobengula, who was completely different from his father, King Mzilikazi, King Lobengula, was attacking and destroying other tribes. And the reflections on Chaminuka's prophecy on King Lobengula by Mnamu Pekeshe, you can read more from the Patriot here. And there is the prophecy that Lobengula was going to face some type of death. And these things that Chaminuka prophesied happened, and Chaminuka was killed by Lobengula. Great teacher. Events pronounced by Chaminuka were fulfilled. On top of it, Chaminuka was a great teacher and a warner, sent to teach us about the one Creator, his laws, and how we must conduct our lives. He was a musician, real miracle worker, political leader par excellence. His teachings covered every aspect of life then. Love must be the way, and that we must live as per our culture and revere our customs and ancestors. You can read more from this website, thepatriot.co. He spoke of prosperity, peace, and goodwill. He brought the communities together and the people thrived. Around 1896, a succession of unnatural events as foretold by Chaminuka took place. Many say his prophecies were true and accurate. When he taught about politics, he said we must avoid shedding innocent blood, and that governance should be fair and equitable. If that was to happen, then no disaster will strike us. But if we shed innocent blood, then disaster will befall that nation and its citizens would suffer, never to be free from the colonizer. Our African leaders today continue spilling innocent blood. No wonder the confusion and the mayhem. There was a spiritual coup that has been ignored by millions, to the utter shock of those sober during the War of Liberation. Historical figures like Chaminuka, Mbiareanda, Mkwati, Nyakwimba were the spiritual leaders who were called upon to lead in the Chimurenga War. To the shock of many, the trickery that took place exactly on April 18 has not been acknowledged. But since the euphoria and the independence celebrations were topical during that time, few noticed the spiritual coup. The new leader who came in to rule a place called Zimbabwe, which we don't believe is a country anyway, proclaimed that he was a Jesuit. And since then, Africa's wars and troubles has continued. There were other prophets, other leaders, like Mpianehanda, who was a spiritual medium of Nyamita, who parted the waters of a flooded Sabe River in the glare of David Livingstone, who documented it. Sekuruka Gubi, who was also participating in the Chimurenga wars to liberate and free the people from the colonial rulers against what Chamenuka had advised. We were not supposed to fight these people. There was a ritual which we were supposed to perform to stop them, and the earth would have swallowed these colonizers. There was also a prophet-like spirit medium, Mkoba named Zizi, who was a very significant advisor in King Mzilikazi's ruling council of the Royal Mtwakazi Kingdom. We should know all about such leaders. Was there communication from the ancestors, Netchers, or the Creator to us concerning our current state or the impending enslavement and colonization? Yes, indeed, you bet. Was our nation blind spiritually? Not at all. Are modern Christian or Muslims or Islamic or commercialized healers true? Not at all. They are facts. Any prophet who teaches about God, talks about Jesus, about Mary, about Muhammad, about Allah, is a mouthpiece of colonists and enslavers. Doesn't matter who he is, especially those that teach to us, the black people. Let us find more of our original prophets and spiritual leaders in any part of our Bantu nation on earth. Let us take time to take heed of what they really say. For they were the real messengers, not these Jesus freaks and Islamic enslavers. Therefore, we know and are confident that as Africans, we are the messengers. We might call them by many names, by various names, not only Shiki or Mondoro, but we know their message, and we know that they communicated a vital message from beyond human reasonings and the sources, and they redirect us to our ancestors. That's the key. Any prophet, any teacher who doesn't direct you to your ancestors to reverence and love your ancestors and raise your ancestors first before anyone else, they are a false prophet. They are false. They are misleading you because they are putting something before you. You cannot access the Creator. We have shown that diagram with a chasm. There's a process, a very complex process, which you can use to access the Creator. But the Creator has given us our ancestors, just like He gave us our parents to take care of us when we are born. Because the Creator could have taken care of us 6 seconds when we are born. But He didn't. He gave us our mother and our father, our communities, to take care of us. So too in the spiritual realm, it's not different. If you desire to help us spread such messages, visit our website www.marifado.com or send us an email at join@marifado.com, for this work is huge, but with us all united, it will be done. Subscribe to our channel, Community Brew Ethics. This is our email, join@marifado.com. This preacher Rabbi Elem Dumizul of Marifa Development Organization. Till we meet again, Edupe Siabonga Tatenda. Thank you, Henkos.